Hey, what's happening, gang? Today we're going to enhance photos in Photoshop. Now, a lot of times we have photos that we take with our cameras, digital cameras, film cameras, it doesn't matter, and we think the photos are useless. Well, a lot of times we can correct these photos in Photoshop and make them look spectacular, and that's what I'm going to show you on this video. Look at this photo right here. Today I'm going to show you how to turn this photo right here into this photo. And then we're also going to take this photo of this painter here and turn it into this photo, totally enhancing the photo, bringing everything out. Then we're going to take this photo of these cowboys right here and turn it into a country poster, just like that. And it's so easy to do in Photoshop. Let me show you this. Let's go ahead and get started right now. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start off with this image right here, okay? This looks really cool, right? Well, I don't know, it doesn't look that great, but we're really gonna enhance this image, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. Go right up here to image, and then down here to adjustments, and then come right over here to levels. Levels is gonna allow us to control each of the three tones in the image. What are those three tones? Well, we have shadows, and we have midtones, and highlights. So look down here, we have these three sliders right here. This slider right here will control the shadows, and this slider right here will control the midtones of the image, and the little white slider right here will control the highlights. This is really easy to do, okay? And I really recommend levels, using the levels dialog instead of the brightness and contrast to enhance your images, because with the levels you have full control over the highlights and the midtones and also the shadows, but you have control over them separately, okay? And that is why this works so well. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and move this little the shadow slider right here in a little bit, and what you can see is it looks like the image is getting darker, but what is really happening is that we are darkening the darkest areas of the image, okay? And that's what we're gonna do. Then we're gonna brighten the brightest areas of the image and also adjust the shadows. So let me show you that. I'm gonna come over here to the shadows and take that up just a little bit, bringing some of the detail right back out of the image a little bit, and then I'm gonna come over here and adjust the sliders just a little bit. And don't be afraid if you're blowing stuff out in the image. In other words, if you see this hat right here, it's getting all white and everything, you know what? It sure beats the image looking like this like it was before. You know, it's just almost better just to sacrifice the fact that you've totally overexposed a portion of the image just to enhance the overall image, okay? So just go ahead and keep the preview on here, and we're gonna go ahead and watch it here as we enhance the image. Check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the channels a little bit, making sure that I maintain most of the detail in the image at the same time I'm doing this. But check that out. There we go. I got a pretty bright hat. So this is before and this is after. Wow, looks like something you see in a magazine or something, right? Well, that's what I'm talking about, and that's what we're doing in Photoshop right now. I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and click OK. Now, another thing you can do, and a lot of times we take photos and things and we didn't really have the best shutter speed when we took the photo, and sometimes the photo can be a little blurry, maybe a little out of focus or whatnot. Another thing to enhance an image, come right up here to filter, come down here to sharpen and select unsharpened mask, okay? And what we can do here is we can control the amount of sharpen with this slider, and then we can also control the radius. Now, I would start with a 0.1 radius and then move up from there, okay? Usually, I really don't get a whole lot of good results with 0.1, so maybe you'd want to start at 0.2 radius and then move up from there. So that's what I've done here, and it looks like to me that 0.5 works pretty well. Now, if you enhance the radius too much, or if you enhance the amount too much, sometimes it'll actually degrade the quality in the image, because especially if it's a compressed image, what that'll do is that'll enhance all the compression artifacts in the image, and that's not really a good thing. But anyways, you get the point. And then what I want you to do is just go ahead, come into the unsharpened mask, and then give the image an overall sharpening, and then go ahead and click OK. Now, I want you to look at it. Now, this is not the completed image for this particular one yet. Let me show you what it looks like after. This is the effect that we're going to create next. We're going to create this overlay color over the whole image to really make it look professional, okay? Let me show you how to do this. I'm going to go ahead and click back over here. Let me go ahead and minimize this. I'm going to click back on this image and then go right up here to Image, Adjustments, and Photo Filter, and I'll show you exactly how I got that look. Right here, the default setting, it says warming filter 85. These are all different filters we can apply to this photo here. I actually have a whole video about the photo filter on this DVD if you want to check it out. But I'm going to go ahead and use the default setting right here, warming filter 85, and then turn the density up all the way, just like this. Whoop, there we go. And look at that. It looks awesome. I think that looks cool, and it looks totally better than what it looks like before. But but that is how I did it. And we can do this in Photoshop. A lot of the photos you have, stuff you've taken with the digital camera or you've scanned with a film camera, and you just don't think the photo looks good, well, go back, load this video up, put the photo in Photoshop, and work step by step with this video and try to do the same effect just like we did here, okay? And you'll really be surprised at what you can do. I'm gonna go ahead and click OK, and we can see here this is before and this is after. Magic in Photoshop? Well, I guess so. It's always full of magic. But anyways, let's get on to the next video right here. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this right here. Now, the next video we have is part of the painter. Painter guy here that looks like just, some guy painting out on the Sunday afternoon. And, he looks like he's just minding his own business, right? And that just looks like a regular photograph that you would take with, some camera at, like a thrift store or something, whatever like that. But what we're going to do is enhance this photo so it doesn't look like that. So it looks like something professional that you would see in a magazine or you would see in a poster somewhere that really someone's worked on it and it makes it look blah, blah, blah. Okay, so anyways, let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to take this photo and make it look like this, totally enhancing it, enhancing the depth of field, enhancing the skin tones, and just really making it look awesome. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this right here. Now, the first thing, just like the other image, I'm going to come right up here to image and go down to adjustments and select levels, just like that. Now, I'm going to come down here, and now the first thing, just like the other one, I'm going to move the shadow slider right here. And to make those shadows a little bit darker there, then I'm going to control the the mid-tone slider right here, bringing out some of the detail, and then I'm going to control the highlight slider right here. Now, don't be afraid, again, if you're going to blow out his t-shirt right there because, you can't see anything in the t-shirt, okay, because the t-shirt is so blown out, but don't worry about it, and I can see the sky's blown out right. It's so worth it just to get the effect that you want, so don't worry about that. Go ahead and don't blow it out too much, but you know what I mean. A little bit is okay. All right. So you can see what I'm doing right there. And I'm going to go ahead and check the shadows one more time. There we go. I'm going to adjust the shadows a little bit right there. Perfect. And let's check the highlights again. That looks pretty good. It's looking pretty sweet right there. Okay, this is what it was before. And then now this is after we used yellows. What a difference. It's so easy to do. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now, the next step we're going to do is we're going to apply this overall softness to the photo. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to come over here on the layers palette. I'm going to duplicate this layer right here, the background layer that we applied the levels to, and drag it to the new layer icon at the very bottom here. Okay, let me go ahead and just try that again. I'm going to move that the layers palette a little bit and drag that background layer just to the layers palette button right there. And then it's going to go ahead and make a copy of it right there. And then after that, what you want to do to get a soft effect, I want you to come right up here to the filter menu, come down here to blur, and go over to here to Gaussian blur. And then what we're going to do is just give it just a slight blur, just about right there. I don't know, 4.6, 4.5 around there will work just fine. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. All right, so after we've done that, then I want you to go ahead, come right up here to the opacity on the layers palette and lower the opacity on that layer, and you will see him soften up. And what we will do is we will bring the lower below it into the image. Watch. Okay, this is full blast, right? The whole image is blurred out, and as I lower the opacity, we start to see the layer below it come in clear. You see that? But if I go all the way down, then it's going to look just like it did before. But that's how I got the softness effect right there. That's looking pretty cool. Now, the next step, what we're going to do is enhance the depth of field in the image. In other words, when we make some of the background areas out of focus, we're going to bring in the foreground, like the guy painting and all that stuff. So all you have to do first is what you want to do is click on the background layer number 1. Right here, and this is the background that we're going to apply the blur to make it out of focus. Come right over here to the toolbar and select the blur tool right here, and that looks like a pretty good size brush right there, but depending on the size of your image, you may need to select a different size brush, but this is going to work pretty good for me. I'm going to go ahead and bring out the image a little bit I'm gonna go ahead and bring out the image a little bit right here. Hey, okay, and then that's pretty good right there. And then I'm gonna bring the blur tool over here. And I'm just gonna go around and I'm going to just paint around this guy in the background, and we're gonna go ahead and blur it out just like it's a real depth of field shot with the film camera, just like that. Check that out. Put a little blur right there. And then just around that, it makes them totally stand out just a lot better, but that's really what I did. And I also like to do is I like to just paint around here with the blur tool, and that'll make sort of the outer areas in the front here out of focus as well, bringing more attention on the subject in our photo and nothing else around it. You know, because some of this stuff right here is not very important. Now I understand, you know, negative space and white space and all that stuff takes place as well, but when we can still see those areas around there, but they're just not in focus enough, and it brings all the attention in the center of the image. So you can see it right there. That looks beautiful. And that is how I got the effect. You can see this is what it was before, and this is what it is after. And what you can do also is come down here, make sure the background layer is selected, and come up here to filter, come right down here, come right down to the sharpen build, and go ahead and shut the unsharpen mask tool. And then when you select the unsharpen mask tool, you can go ahead and enhance and sharpen the overall image, so we can see this is what it was before. And this is what it is after we apply the sharpening. Totally professional. You've seen it right here in Photoshop. So this is before. And now, this is after. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and move on to the next image real quick. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. Okay, what we're going to do is just take this horse picture right here. This horse picture, that's just an ordinary picture you can take on a Sunday afternoon or maybe even a Thursday afternoon. It really doesn't matter what afternoon it is, but okay, you get the idea. So what we can do is just take a photo like this and turn it right into a poster. Okay, and only cropping down the most interesting parts of the image and everything. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this, and this is the original photo right here. I'm going to go ahead and make it just a little bit smaller so we can fit it on the screen here. I may even be able to go up on the navigator palette and enter in 40. That way we have a 40% zoom in here, so that way it fits on the image as big as possible. Okay, I'm going to go right up here to image, down here to adjustments, and over here to levels. And then we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go ahead and enhance the darkest areas. I'm going to change the shadows, or I'm sorry, the midtones of the image a little bit, and enhance the brightest areas. I got to watch very closely because these sheep down here look like they're on fire. It's on the sheep. I know I'm really not from Kentucky, but you know what I mean. So anyway, so this looks pretty good right here, and we also enhancing the color of the image as well a little bit, which is kind of nice to do, but don't go too crazy now. Don't go too crazy. Okay, and so you can see I'm doing pretty good right there. Hey, all right, looks pretty good. This is before, and now this is after. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now, the next step here, because we have a lot of greens in this image, and I love it when we have a lot of greens and things because we can totally take advantage of saturating the image. So come up here to image, down here to adjustments, and come down here to the hue and saturation. I'm going to bring the hue and saturation command, and to bring out the colors in the image, we can turn up the saturation just a little bit, and you can see that is beautiful. This is what it looked like before, and this is after. So we'll just enhance it. Now don't go up here to the hue control. Oh my God, the hue control, and change the hue because it's just gonna look terrible. What did I do? If you want to get it back to normal, just select the entry box right here, enter in 0, and press enter on the keyboard, and you're done. Okay, so that's what we've done. We've enhanced also the hue and saturation. This is what it was before, and this is after. So you can see I just did it just a little bit. Okay, that's all you got to do. Now, we're also going to do the same technique as we did with the painter. This is really cool. I want you to drag the background layer to the new layer icon right here. Drag the background layer on the new icon. Let's go ahead and make a copy right there. Okay, good. And now I want you to come up here to filter, come down here to blur, and select Gaussian blur. All right, Gaussian blur. Okay, and then we're going to apply an overall blur to the image. It's going to look really nice. And after that, we're going to go ahead and click OK. And then come over here to the opacity on that duplicate layer and lower the opacity just like that. And you can see that it's so much smoother now. It is beautiful. And the beautiful things that we can create in Photoshop is just amazing. I love it. So you've seen it right there. Adjusting the opacity will actually lower the layer that contained the Gaussian blur so we can see the layer below it, which is our original background layer right here. Okay, now the next step, I want you to go ahead and what we're going to do is come over here and select the rectangular marquee tool, because what we're going to do is just crop down the image to the areas that we think that's most important, okay? Because we're going to make this cool horizontal poster out of this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and select the rectangular marquee tool and come over here and just make a selection, just about like that. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna actually maybe move it up just a little bit right there. Looks pretty good. Going around the town. Okay, looks pretty good right there. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. All right. And then so I'm gonna come up here to edit, and then come down here. Whoa. Come down here over to image, and then come down here to crop, and we will crop the image down. And then so all we have to do now is just come up here to select and just select the image. Okay, we are almost done, folks. We're almost done. I'm going to go ahead and actually make a new layer, and I show you what we're going to do. We are actually going to apply a transparent gradient to this image. Let me show you how I'm going to do this. I'm going to come over to the toolbar right here and select the gradient tool. And then for the foreground color, I'm going to select white. Check that out. I selected white, and I'm going to click OK. Are you following me? Are you following me now? Then I'm going to come right down to the bottom of the image right here. And then I'm going to hold down the Shift key on the keyboard. And then I'm going to click and drag up and apply the gradient to that. Check that out. Then after this, I'm going to come right over here and select the type tool, because I'm going to apply type on my poster. I'm going to click on the image, and you can see when I do that, Photoshop will automatically make a type layer on the image for us. We don't have to do it ourselves. So I'm going to go ahead and type in here, love the country. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and select that, but that's not really some good country lettering, is it? We need some more country lettering out there. It's not gonna work for us. We, we don't have no, sans serif font. Ain't gonna do us any good. We're from the country, Texas, so we're gonna go up here real quick and come down here, and we're gonna select the, one of the fonts that was defaulted installed on the Mac OS system, which really looks really nice. Okay, great. That looks really good right there. It's a little big though. I'm gonna go ahead and double click on the type layer right here to select the type, and then come up here and select the 18 point right there. Go ahead and select that and select the move tool to position that right there. And then I'm going to make sure that's selected again. I'm going to go ahead and double click on the type layer, because what we're going to do is change the color of the type. I'm going to come up here and change that to black, and then go ahead and check on the checkbox up here to confirm that, and there it is. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll take the move tool, move that up just a little bit right there. Love the country. And then I'm going to come up here to layer, and then go down here to the layer styles, and I want you to select outer glow, because we're going to apply an outer glow to that text just to make it stand out just a little bit more. I'm going to control the opacity right here, maybe the size of the spread a little bit, or the elements, and that'll make it stand out a little bit good. So there you go. And that is how I did it right there. Check it out. So we have this total cool poster. Now, you can do a lot of other things. You don't have to leave the image like this. You can totally over enhance the entire image even more if you like. I can come down here and select the background layer. I can go up here to image, over to adjustments. I can come over here and select the color balance, and I can actually give it an overall more enhancement. I can go over here to the greens a little bit, and we can enhance the greens of the image, or click on the highlights here and move that over to yellow a little bit and enhance more of the yellows, which will enhance the brightest areas of the image as well. So always experiment with these. We have the hue and saturation, the levels, the color balance. This all take place. They all make a big difference in Photoshop, and this is how we enhance images in Photoshop. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on the next image, okay? Have a lot of fun. We'll see you later. I'm gonna go I need a glass of water. Oh boy.